I married the man of my dreams, even after I found out he was my half-brother. And honestly, I don't regret it. Not even a little. I know how messed up that sounds. If I heard someone else say it, I'd probably gag. But when it's your life, when it's your love story, it feels different. It feels like the world should just understand. But they won't. So I can't ever tell anyone. That's why I'm saying it here. So, where do I even start? I'm 26. I was adopted as a baby, closed adoption. My parents, the ones who raised me, are amazing, but they could never tell me much about where I came from. I've always felt like there was a piece of me missing, like there was something or someone I was supposed to find. I never expected that someone to be Kyle. Kyle. Man, I met him when I was 22. He walked into the coffee shop I was working at, ordered a cappuccino, smiled at me like I was the only person on earth. I remember thinking he looked like trouble, like the kind of guy your friends warn you about. I was hooked before I even knew his last name. We started dating fast, fell in love faster, the kind of love that makes everything else in life feel background. He got me, understood me. His laugh made my brain go quiet in the best way. I felt like I'd known him forever. After a year, I moved into his apartment. We talked about kids, the future, traveling. I felt like I finally had something solid, like I found the piece I didn't know I'd been missing. Then we did the DNA tests. One of those dumb ancestry kits people give each other for Christmas. I'd always been curious about my background, and he thought it'd be fun to do together. So we spit in the tubes, mailed them out, and forgot about it. Weeks later, I got an email. You have a close relative in our database. I was excited, nervous even. Thought maybe I'd find a sibling I never knew I had. Turns out I did, but it was Kyle. It said half-sibling or parent. I stared at the screen for probably 10 minutes, thinking it had to be wrong. I refreshed it. I logged out and back in. But it didn't change. Kyle was my half-brother, same dad. Everything else around me just faded after that. It was like my brain just shut off. I couldn't think, couldn't feel anything except this sharp pressure in my chest, like my ribs were closing in. I didn't tell him. I couldn't. He walked in the door that night holding takeout and making dumb jokes, and I smiled like nothing was wrong. I laughed at his jokes, kissed him, ate dinner. I didn't sleep that night. I laid next to him for hours, just staring at the ceiling, wondering how the hell something like this could happen. I kept thinking, we didn't grow up together. We didn't know. We fell in love before we knew. But also, this is so wrong. But love doesn't turn off like a light switch. The next morning, I looked at him while he was brushing his teeth, and I just couldn't walk away. I told myself it didn't have to mean anything, that DNA didn't erase 4 years of love, that maybe we could just forget the test and move on. But I didn't forget. I started watching him differently. His smile, his jawline, the shape of his hands, wondering if they looked like mine, wondering if anyone else would notice. I became obsessed. Not just with him, with us, with the idea of keeping this thing perfect, untouched, untouchable. I started digging into his family history. His dad died when he was a teenager, car crash, sudden. I found an old college yearbook photo of his dad. He looked familiar, like someone I could have passed on the street and felt a weird twinge of déjà vu. The timelines lined up. My birth mother disappeared around the same time Kyle's dad would have been in college. Same state, same city. My records were sealed, but I didn't need them. I knew. I burned the test results, deleted the emails, swallowed the truth like poison. I told myself every day, don't ruin this. You love him, he loves you, that's all that matters. Then he proposed. It was sweet and stupid and perfect. He did it in the same coffee shop we met in. Had the baristas spell out, "Will you marry me?" in chocolate drizzle on a muffin. I cried. Said yes. And then I cried harder that night when he couldn't see me. There were a few times I almost told him. Once while we were laying in bed and he was tracing circles on my shoulder. Another time when we were picking flowers for the wedding and I saw lilies, my birth mother's favorite flower according to my adoption file. I even wrote him a letter once. 3 pages. Everything I couldn't say out loud. I sealed it, put it in his nightstand drawer. Then I panicked and ripped it up before he could read it. I didn't want to lose him. I couldn't. I loved him more than anything. More than my morals. More than my sanity. And somewhere deep down, part of me thought, maybe this is what fate looks like. Maybe we were supposed to find each other no matter what. Maybe the universe is messed up, but at least it gave me him. The wedding was beautiful. I wore white. He cried during the vows. Everyone said we looked like a couple in a movie. I kissed him in front of everyone we knew, and no one had any idea they were watching two people with matching bloodlines. It's been a few weeks since then. We're happy. He makes me laugh, holds me when I get anxious. We talk about adopting kids someday. I think I could live like this forever. Sometimes, though, I look at him while he's sleeping and wonder how long I can keep this secret. Wonder if he'd still love me if he knew, or if everything would shatter. But then he rolls over, wraps his arms around me, and I think, no, this is mine. This love is mine. And I'm not giving it up. Maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm selfish, maybe I crossed a line I can't uncross, but I'd do it all again, without hesitation.